If you want more character consistency in your AI art, then check out RenderNet. RenderNet is an AI art platform with a ton of features based around character consistency. This is handy for any form of photography, storytelling, or even creating a virtual influencer for social media. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can get started. RenderNet are also the sponsor of this video, so there's more information and a link in the description. And getting started is pretty easy. Head to their website and click the Create for Free button. And then you simply got to sign up and you get some free credits to try this platform out. And when you land, you can see straight away, it's easy to get started with popular character templates if you'd want to just start there. So we can click on any one of these. We'll try this movie character. And you can see straight up, we've got a prompt that we can put in there. We'll get an image similar to this one. I can head back to home, check out one of the other influencers like a travel vlogger. And we can actually use this to get a nice start. And I can even pop this in here and generate AI art from there straight away. But chances are you want to have a bit more control over your character. So one of the first ones we're going to look at is a little feature here called Facelock. So I've got my templated character started and I can upload a picture of someone and use their face. But you can see here, for best results, you want to make sure that the face is clearly visible, facing forward, and isn't wearing glasses or shades. So if I hit the X on this and upload a new image, I have this image here of a woman's face, which I got from pexels.com, a royalty-free website. I click open, and you can see I've got a clear face, facing forward, no glasses or shades. And so now I'm going to use this exact same prompt here to generate an image. And you can see how it's been able to get her face pretty close to the one we've uploaded, and a little bit different to the one we had before. Now this is just using the templated prompt. If we want our own unique image and prompt, we can change this completely. Got a woman walking through a busy street during the day, golden hour, wearing a jacket with pink hair. I'm going to put DSLR photo, professional photograph. Now I've actually put DSLR in here, so I'm just going to go into the negative prompt for things that I want to keep out. I'm just going to put in here camera. I don't want any cameras in this image. And as you can see, we've already got some stuff in here we want to keep out, like JPEG artifacts, extra limbs, and bad anatomy. So I can actually go through and create a full prompt with this face lock feature and get a new image by hitting generate. And you can see again how we've managed to keep the face the same, but we've changed the hair to pink. She's wearing a jacket and she's walking downtown. So by having a lot more description of her appearance outside of her face, we can nail down the face with Facelock and then use the prompt to really try and get full control over her appearance. So you can see this Facelock feature is pretty powerful, but getting more detailed about the appearance is what's really going to nail down a lot of the other features in your character. But what about the rest of the image generator settings? Well, if I head back, first of all, we've got the settings here. We've got things like seed and a few other sort of technical settings. If you're fairly well versed in AI art, you can change how many images you generate at a time. The steps, this is all Stable Diffusion based sort of settings. But if you want to sort of improve the guidance, or the steps will actually run the image generation a few more times, so you can get sort of not necessarily better results, but cranking it down too low will make things probably a bit too simple. But this is also where we can change the aspect ratio. Down here we can change from 1:1 to 2:3, so a tall image like what we have here, or we can flip that image on its side and go 3:2. So you've got a few different options here on your aspect ratio, and of course you can also change these up here. There's also canvas if you decide you want to go and try and edit your image, but we're not going to go into that right now. Now, as most other image generators, if we go over here, we've got different models we can try, like Cyber Realistic, Next Photo, Juggernaut. You've got all these Dream Shaper, if you want to get that nice sort of anime style to it. But let's go for Cyber Realistic. And of course, if you're not sure what LoRAs are kind of like a model that you can add and mix into your image. So we can go Cinema XL if we want to add like more of a cinema style sort of image to it. Keeping in mind, if I go back to my models, Cyber Realistic is a photoreal model. If I choose an Excel model, it disappears, so we'll stick with our photoreal model. So when I go to my LoRA, some of these may not work. So I have to go non-SDXL simply because I'm using photoreal. So I can change to, say, an anime Studio Ghibli style, or I can add more details. And these will get added into the prompt here. Now I'm actually going to get rid of the Studio Ghibli style here and the SynXL because we're not using an Excel based model. And so I can go through quite easily and pick different styles to apply to my images, or use different models to get different looks based on what I'm trying to generate. So again, if I hit generate on this, And again, we've kept that face, the pink hair, the jacket, and we've got some slightly different results. So still pretty cool, and just a nice little twist on what it is we're looking for. But what about if we want to change this a little bit further? What if we want a little bit more control over the pose of our model? If we come down here to ControlNet, and you can actually upload an image and sort of use it as a way of controlling how the image is sort of posed or how it looks. So now I see this image here, I can actually close that one off again and upload something different. This time I have this image of a woman standing with her arm across and sort of hand up under her chin. I pop that one in there, and before I go any further, I've got here a woman walking, which doesn't really match the pose. So I'm just going to say a woman in a busy street, and we have our pose here. And because we're using a non-SDXL model, as we noticed before under models, I want to choose something from here where I can either choose the outline, which might be a little bit too full on, or the actual open pose, which will select the pose. And you can try any of these to try and replicate the results you see in the image. We're going to stick with open pose, and it's going to basically create a bit of a wireframe around this image for the pose. And if you're using an SDXL model, you would find out from here whether you can use depth or canny, so you have less options because it's a more advanced model and they haven't probably developed it quite that far yet. Now, control mode. We want to find whether we want it to be balanced or whether the prompt is more important or ControlNet, the pose, is more important. I like balanced because we do want what we put in our prompt to matter. We just want to influence it with our pose. Now I'm going to keep, again, the relationship between the control and the generated image. We're going to go crop and resize. That being trying to match the size and proportion of the image we're generating with the one we've uploaded. This, I think, is just a nice natural default. So keeping these settings at default pretty much is good. I like using open pose. Now I will generate our image. And now again, you can see from these images how they've managed to copy the pose pretty much exactly. And that is the power of using ControlNet to help pose the actual character you're working with. This means if you wanted to, you could actually create photos of yourself posing in certain ways, create a character, and use these two together to create certain poses and characters for use in storytelling or whatever it is that you're after. So you can see what we've been able to create so far. It's actually a fairly consistent use of face and pose to take full control. Now, another thing we can do is come down to this change it section here. And I can use an image. I click on this. I'm going to upload this image right here, and we're going to basically change something in that image. So I click open. You see here it says what to change, so we can change one thing in the image. So at the moment she has a black jacket, so we'll change the black jacket into a purple jacket. So a black jacket into a purple jacket. We hit change it. Put these images side by side. You can see I've changed the color of the jacket. However, I made a mistake. I typed in black jacket and it still changed that jacket to a purple jacket. So you see how accurate it is, despite the fact I actually got that wrong. So there's also a magic mode, which is pretty cool. It allows you to sort of choose certain looks to apply to the style of your image. So I've really only scratched the surface of this particular platform, and there's so much you can do with it that I think that it really warrants a really just logging in, having a play. I've done all of this today on a free account, but you can also go further if you decide you want to go for a paid account. So if you want to have a play with this and see what you can make happen, check out RenderNet today. There's a link in the description. I highly recommend going in, having a play, seeing what you think. It is based on Stable Diffusion and does a lot of really cool work. So otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider giving it a like. I want to thank RenderNet for sponsoring this video. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.